Hi, I'm Marilyn San Clemente of Stamp with Marilyn, and welcome to my creative playground. Tonight, I'm going to show you some new stuff out of the catalog, and the catalog went live today. The new annual catalog is now live, so that is good until until the beginning of next May. So I think like the 5th or 6th, something like that. So I'm going to show you a few things today, and let's get started. Let me set my camera up. This is what I've been playing with today. I've been playing with the Impressions Abloom, and I do really like this set. And I was just looking at what should I put on here for embellishments. So maybe we'll use this. And then the other thing that I like to do is add a little bit of glitter to this piece. So to do that, I use my Wink of Stella, and you tap it. And it kind of just puts a little sheen on it, and then you can go back and color in like the centers of the flowers and things. So I just think that that's really pretty. Oops, can't get under that one. There we go. Okay, so the new catalog is live. So this is the new annual catalog, and as of today this is live. And then also with the annual catalog, some things went live in the online exclusives. So I think what you'll find with this catalog, and I really like what they've done with this, is they have made this more of a how-to. And so I put my order in. I got up at 2 o'clock this morning and I put my order in, and I love, 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 love this set. So isn't that beautiful? This beautiful blues kit, and it is an all occasion set. And then there's also the heirloom arrangements kit, which has been out for a couple of months. And then what I like is there's also now the scrapbooking kits are all included with the stamp sets and things. And there's ideas for scrapbooks as well. And once again, there is this page 24, that has a whole bunch of card layouts, some sketches. And those are great for inspiration. If you don't know what you want to do, pick a sketch and go for it, and just play with that sketch. And then the same on page 28, there's some sketches for scrapbook templates, which I love too. So I think that's great. And you'll see throughout the book ideas for both scrapbooks and cards. And then also the other thing that they've changed this year is they've added a second set of spots. So there's 10 spots that are available now instead of just 8. And I think that's great. So we have Basic Gray, the Fresh Freesia, Granny Apple Green, Melon Mambo, and Daffodil Delight. So those are kind of bright colors. And then we have Early Espresso, the Cloud Cover, Garden Green, Real Red, and it looks like that is Petal Pink. And so another combination of colors. So, and this is the new catalog. So if you are on my mailing list and have placed an order with me this past year, then you should have received a new catalog in the mail by now. If you don't have a demonstrator, if you're in the US and do not have a demonstrator, you can just send me an email at marilyn@stampwithmarilyn.com, and I will send you a catalog. So, okay. So tonight I am working with the Impressions Abloom set. And I always like to make these cheat sheets because then that gives me lots of ideas. I can look at this and kind of figure out how I want to lay things out. So what's cool about this set is it has this outline, and there's two of those. So this one that has the stitching does this outline, and then this one does the inside. So if you want to cut something for the inside, then you can. And this is what it looks like. This is in the cloud cover. I did that stitching. And the other thing that I like to do is just make kind of a cheat sheet. So with this stamp set, let me put that right here. Okay, with this stamp set, there's images that you can stamp, and then there's also images that you can die cut out. And they're actually the same image. It's just one is stamped and then this one is detailed, and it's a die cut. So you can kind of choose the way that you want to go. And what I thought I would do tonight is I've done a little bit of both. I have put a card together that I have stamped, and then I'm going to be putting a card together that I've stamped. And then I did put a card together already that I die cut. So this is the card that I die cut. And this has nice sentiments with it also too. It has, I appreciate you. So it has, I appreciate you, and it says so very much, or I appreciate you for being there. And then it has thanks for being there, and I appreciate you for being there. So you can say thanks so very much, or thanks for being there. And these are the stamped images. So there's leaves, there's 3 sets of different flowers that go together. And then for the die cut images, there's 4 sets of flowers. There's these kind of tulip type flower, this larger flower, this daisy, and this medium flower. And then, oh, there's little tiny flowers as well. So, okay. So I've been working on this card today. Okay, so what I did was I went through scraps that I have, and I just kind of die cut a whole bunch of different things in different color combinations. And there are combinations that I thought would be really cool. So I have strawberry slush, I have petunia pop, I did a whole bunch of leaves in granny apple green, some lemon lolly, and some new duckling. What is that? Darling duckling, I believe, is the new color. And then also the fresh freesia. And why am I blanking on this color? Bubble bath. Okay. So I think what I didn't put on this card, because I was just finishing the card this afternoon, or right before I signed on, actually, I didn't put on this card some of these little tiny ones. So what if I take a couple, here we go, and maybe we add a couple of these in between. That might be good. Okay, so to do that, I've got some glue dots here. I'm going to, oops, uh-oh, my glue dot's not letting go. Okay, there we go. And this is your take your pick tool, and I cannot live without this tool. Oops, now I can't get the glue dot off. To try and get my nail under there. Okay, there we go, got it. So I'm just going to put this over here, and let's put another one down here. There we go. Put that down there, and then let's get one more. Everything should be in 3s, right? Okay, let's put that one up here. There we go. So I think that just fills it in just a little bit. And I really like that. It's a pretty card. So what I did with this is a fresh freesia card base, which is cut to 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. I used a piece of white, which is cut to 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I used the quatrefoil embossing folder, which is now retired, but it's one of my favorites. And then I added the flowers, and then I put for being there. So I appreciate you for being there, and I added a couple of tulips on the inside. So that is this card. Oh, and again, I wanted to actually, after I'm finished with the card, I like to take some Wink of Stella and just add a little glitter to this. So if you use your bone folder or a pencil or whatever, you can see that that gives it some glitter. I really like that. So, okay, so that's our first card. Okay, so we have this gorgeous daisy. Isn't that pretty? With the yellows, it's got the different yellows in it and some browns. It's got a green, garden green background. I love this one. This has got a little bit of, this has got Timid Tiger, it's got some greens, it's got some purples and some blues. And it's got a fresh freesia background. So the B-sides of these are really pretty. They're solid colors. This one's fresh freesia, it looks like berry burst and different shades of blues as well. And that is Old Olive, I believe. And this one looks like garden green. We've got some purples here. We've got the strawberry slush, the new color, strawberry slush. We've got the darling duckling, some timid tiger in here, which is the new orange. And isn't that pretty? So that's the strawberry slush / I would say flirty flamingo. And I think strawberry slush and flirty flamingo actually would look really good together as well. And then we have this pattern, and it's got some pretty ferns. It's also got some more blue flowers, some purples and yellows, and some of the strawberry slush. And then this one is the darling duckling on the back. And then here is the fern paper, and that's got little tiny daisies in there. And then that is cloud cover on the back. And so cloud cover ink is now available with a re-inker and spots. The full-size ink pad did not meet Stampin' Up! Standards, so they're selling the ink pads to the demos, but they don't want to distribute them to the general public since the ink pads don't quite meet our quality standards. So cloud cover we will be able to get in a spot, and we'll go from there. Okay, so these are some flowers that I stamped, and as you can see, there's 3 sets of flowers in this, and there's a daisy, and I'm actually not sure what these other flowers are. I guess this could be that could be a dahlia. There's a few things that it could be. So, but I just did different combinations of colors. And this is the one that I did that I cut out using the dies. So, okay, so let's play with this one. So this project, I'm going to do something a little bit different. So this is going to have kind of a masculine touch to it. And what I have is a piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock. And this cardstock is 4 1/4 by 8.5, and I have scored it at 2 3/4 on this side, and then 2 3/4 on this side. So what that does is that makes a trifold card that's going to look like this. So it's going to look like that, and we're going to use, isn't this pretty? This is the Timeless Plaid, And this is in the January catalog, and I believe it's carried forward because I haven't seen it on the last chance list. So a lot of the papers from the January catalog are carrying forward. For example, the Storybook Friends. I think that most of the designer papers, I know the Bee paper and the Plaid paper are carrying forward. The Storybook Friends is carrying forward. So a lot of the scrapbooking things are carrying forward. Actually, I probably should have cut 2 sets so that I have some for the back as well, but I didn't do that. Okay, I can add that later. So then what I did was I took this piece of cloud cover and I cut this using the Arches dies, like that. Oops. So I was going to put the arches on like this, probably about halfway down. There we go. Or actually, you know what we could do is we could do something like this. Actually, they look like, makes them look like tombstones. Not that I want them to be, but so these I cut and I embossed with the brick wall embossing folder. And I'm not sure if that's retired or not, or if that's still available. I'm going to move this one up a little bit. Actually, and I'm going to move that one down. Okay. Okay, so if I line this up here, I need to move this one down a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so those two are lined up and that's lined up. Okay, now I was going to put the yellow flowers in the center. I was going to put this over here. And this one over here. So this card is actually the size of a note card. It's not a full-size standard A2. Okay, and now what we would do is we would decorate this. So actually what I probably should do is put some on the back, oops, as well. And this is one thing you need to be careful of. When you're doing this, make sure that you don't put too much glue on or too much seal. Whatever your adhesive of choice is. There we go. These are great, by the way. Okay, so let's decorate this. So this one, I was thinking, this I've got the yellow. So let's do, oops, I don't have the daisies. I have one daisy. Okay, so let's do this. And this pink one, I was going to use these. And, okay, so I got a little bit of Timid Tiger on there with my hand. So I'm going to put that like that, just to hide that, okay? And also I have over here, I have some leaves. So actually we could put this, do this. Okay, let's glue that on. We'll put that there and there. Oops, we want to hide that. So we're going to put that one up like that. And then we'll put this one here. Okay, so I've got my fine tip glue. And I'm just going to add just a couple dabs of glue here. Okay, there we go. And where's that one that has the, okay, so I want to put this one so that it's under this, okay. So I've used various adhesives. I use glue depending upon what I'm doing. And if I'm doing something really detailed, like the stems, then definitely I use the glue. I use seal adhesive if I'm putting on like large sheets of paper. And then let's put this one on with a dimensional so that it pops up. There we go. Okay. So we have our first one finished. And then what we need to do is figure out what we're going to say down through here. Let's put one there. And let's use one of these little guys. We'll put this underneath. I need to remember to just put my pin someplace special. Okay, so now what we want to do is figure out what we want to say down here. And that, I did not grab a, what do I want to say? A sentiment set for that. So I'm not sure what we want to say. But what I thought was, these are the new in colors. So this is the Secret Sea. This is the Cloud Cover, the Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, and the Strawberry Slush. Let's use the this down here. Let's use a little bit of Strawberry Slush over here. And then let's use the Cloud Cover. That's pretty. It looks really nice with that blue. So this is boho blue. It is retired, but I do love it. And it looked really good with the Cloud Cover. So I will add some sentiments to this. I'm not sure what I'm going to add yet, but I will do that and finish this up and post a picture for you all. This closes like this, and it will fit in a regular envelope. So it is note card size, but it is taller. So it does fit. Whoops, no, it's a little bit longer than 5.5. Okay, I take that back. It needs to go into this envelope. Is that an A9? Is that what those are? Okay. Okay, now I have a third card that I was going to do. In this one, I was going to use the Strawberry Slush, which I really, really like a lot. So I have a piece of Strawberry Slush cardstock that I have cut, 5.5 by 8.5. I'm going to score this at 4.25. So to make a card base, you start with a full sheet of cardstock. So you start with a full piece of cardstock, you cut it in half at 5.5, and then you can score it at 4.25 right here. And the scoring blade, this is the cutting blade. The cutting blade matches the cutter, so it's a darker color. And the scoring blade is a lighter color. And you want to make sure that this is flat against here before you score it. Otherwise, it will be crooked. Okay, so there we go. And now we're just going to fold in. And I'm going to use my bone folder to give that a good crease. And then I have a piece of white for the inside. So what I usually do is cut a piece of white or a light color to 4 by 5 1/4 to put on the inside so that you can write your notes. And of course you want to decorate the inside of the card. Okay, there we go. And then this is embossed with the quatrefoil embossing folder. I'll put that there. Okay, and this, I'm going to put this here, but what I want to do is use that other die. So that would be this die, and I want to cut a floral piece for that center. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3.5 inches. So I'm going to cut a piece of this paper to 3.5 inches. Okay, and then I'm just going to run this through my handy dandy cutter, which I have right here. So I love my new digs. I moved my room around. I changed my room around, and I am using what was a bar. It still is a bar, and I do have alcohol behind me. But I'm using my bar, and it works out. It's perfect because it's just the right height, and I have so much room to spread out. Because before I was working over in the corner, the light wasn't good, and I didn't have a lot of room to spread out, and I was just getting really frustrated, and I was constantly losing things and dropping things. So this is really nice. I'm really liking this a lot. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this on, and then I'm going to feed this, or maybe I want to feed this in first. Yeah, I think I do want to do that. Okay, so I'm going to glue that. Okay, and we're going to center that, and I just eyeball things. I'm usually pretty good at that. Okay, and now I need my fine tip glue again. Oh, I can hear the rain. We have had one very wet, rainy week. Saturday was gorgeous. Spring is here. So I'm really glad. Last Friday was really gorgeous too. So I went up to the local nursery and I bought a bunch of perennials and I got them planted. So now it's been raining for about 4 days. So they should be doing really well. They should be very happy. Okay, there we go. So this again, this is the strawberry slush, and I believe that that's Flirty Flamingo. So I did 2 different styles here. I used, on this one, I used the die cut piece, and on this one, I used the stamped images. So I'm trying to decide what I should use for this one. Actually, let's do this. Let's use I've got a couple of Timid Tiger here. And what I like to do is just kind of take my nail and fold that a little bit, give it some depth. Do that again. Okay, and let's add in one of the pink. Okay, actually, I'm going to take that one out. Let's add in, oops, that one's crooked. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is this. I'm just laying stuff out. I'm going to put this in the center here. Oh, that's pretty. I like that. What if I use this pink one on the yellow? Like that. That's pretty. And let's do that. Okay, so we're going to make these. Oops, this one's got a little, that got cut off. Okay, here's another one that didn't get cut off. There we go. Okay. Here we go. I love this set. Something fancy. It is a retired set, but it's got a lot of really good sentiments with it. And a lot of these labels came from this set. So I wanted to do, here's to, let's put this on the inside. Here's to beautiful beginnings and happily ever after. So this would be a really good wedding card. And let's put that here, on here. And let's do this on the inside. And I'm going to grab, where did my, oh, there's my strawberry slush ink. Okay. My strawberry slush. So I'm going to put that on the inside. There we go. So this is a 2-part stamp set. And so it's got a background. Oops. And it's got a detailed piece. I'm going to make that, put that on a smaller one. There we go. And okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to stamp the background first, and I need a piece of scrap paper to stamp off. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm stamping off so that I have a lighter background, like that. And then I'm going to match this up. And as you can see, there's a couple of pieces here that are spiked. And I just need to figure out where that spike goes. Now it's going to line up. There we go. Not quite lined up, but not bad. Okay, and now I want to take the yellow and I'm going to do the center. So I have this piece, it's got, and again, I'm going to stamp off because I just want a light background. And then I want the detail yellow for the center of the flower. There we go. And that's how this flower set works for the stamping. Okay, so for the front, here's to beautiful beginnings and happily ever after. So on the front, let's do a congratulations here. And why did I close this? I should know better, shouldn't I? Okay. So, congratulations. There we go. Guess I'm just going to snip this like this. And I'm going to put that right in here, like that. So I'm just going to use a tiny dimensional to put that in. And I will feed that into there, like that. Okay, and then let's put another dimensional back here to kind of hold it in place. Okay, there we go. Oh, I love that. That is pretty. That is really pretty. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're just going to color this, the center of our flowers. Okay, let's do these peach. You can never have too many embellishments. Always need bling, right? And let's see. Add one more. So you're supposed to do these in sets in odd numbers. So I just did 5 on there. Okay. So there are 3 different cards that we've made. And I've used both the stamped images and the die cut image. Oops. And I will put some messages on here. And so we have 2 that are stamped and 1 that is die cut. So thank you so much for stopping by. If you're not on my mailing list, go out to stampwithmarilyn.com and sign up for my mailing list. I send out a newsletter every week. I have specials that I run all the time. And I also have lots of tutorials on there. So I am in the process of redoing my tutorial page, but it is almost done. So I will have that done soon. But you can look at the tutorials that are out there, and many of them are pretty old. But I will be updating with some of the new things that have come along. So thank you so much for stopping by tonight. And stop back again next Tuesday at 7. And I'm not sure. I might do celebratory sips, which is the really fun drink set, or the other bloom set. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for next week yet. So thanks again and take care.